Hello, today is Thursday, January 6th, 2022. And today's message is I feel love and compassion for everyone on the planet, those nearby and those far away. Today I am going to use Sasha Grahams' book for the 365 days of tarot spreads. And well, it's kind of funny. So today's spread is called Kick a Bad Habit Spread. And it's more of a metaphor based on what today is. So traditionally, and I say that loosely because it's not applicable to everybody, but in some cultures, some traditions are that January 6th is the day that the three wise men visited the, baby Jesus to welcome him. And they came and they brought, frankincense and myrrh and gold. And in many traditions, they celebrate today as a Christmas celebration of bringing forth gifts and celebrating that way. It's also known in Ireland as Little Christmas. And it is very traditional. And in some modern practices, as mentioned, it's also, this sort of marks the end of the holiday season. And so as a magical metaphor in the book, the Kick a Bad Habit Spread has to do with when you start removing decorations and putting these things away, to sort of draw the end of something, to usher something new. Why not use that as a way to rid a bad habit that you want to clear out of your path? So decide a bad habit that you want to be removed right along with all the holiday frill. And so this spread will help you in identifying and removing those pesky habits, as it's done while you're removing your traditional decor, if that is something that you practiced. If not, it's just a good way on the 6th day of this year to maybe set some other intentions, maybe based off some of the spreads that we've seen so far as part of maybe, helping to manifest that vision board from day one. So the way we're going to cast the cards, there's going to be 9 questions, and you're going to, in your mind's eye, really, using all of your chakras alignment to really discern what is something you want to free yourself of, and imagine yourself as you'd like to be. In a calm and focused manner, we'll cast the cards in the shape of the holiday garland soon to be removed. So you'll see the pattern here. Okay, so let's see here. They say every habit starts with a psychological pattern called a habit loop. It's a 3-part process, begins with the trigger and is followed by a routine and ends with the behavior. So understanding cue, routine, and reward simply change the routine to something healthy and positive. So we're going to cast, I didn't even realize we had the first card right here. All right. Sometimes this happens. My tech isn't great either. I think yesterday's video was really blurry, but I had just gotten home and we're sort of on a different grind now. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3. Let's see, 4. Make sure these are all one shot. 4. Say 5, 6. Scoot these over. Let's see, 7, 8, and 9. I think that's going to be too far out of the shot here. So let's see. My technology is really lacking, but I'm wondering if by the end of the year that will improve as well. I will say that the accountability that I feel like I have to do a spread a day, because I made that. We're only 6 days in, but I definitely feel the drive of, well, okay, we'll go with that. I definitely feel the drive of having set that intention sort of out loud and for other people as well. I will also be pulling a couple, maybe 1 or 2 oracle cards from Mystic Moon's Spirits of Darkness and Light Divination deck. This will be good too. You know what? I'm kind of being called to pull one as we start. Since this is a collective reading, the focus is sort of what is the message that's coming in from all of us in regards to what's a bad habit that we need to, curtail, as we will. So let's pull from this deck first, and then maybe, you know, at the end, if I'm drawn to, I'll pull another one. So I'm going to go ahead and just pull one here. Oh, interesting. That's awesome. So from the Spirits of Darkness and Light Divination deck by Mystic Moon Oracle, I pulled Spirit of the Crystal Ball, Future Predictions and Divination. So the message I'm receiving isn't that this is a bad habit, but this is what we're doing. So the message is definitely telling us that when you do this, if you choose to do this beyond the collective message, but do it for yourself. You know, I've been putting the questions in the bottom of the description so you can do these spreads for yourself. What I'm getting with this first message of the Spirit of the Crystal Ball is that this really is our guide, like using divination this year as we enter 2022, and with the new moon in Capricorn that just happened on the 2nd, we want to rely on divination as our guide this year when making maybe decisions or figuring things out. So this will be a really great way to start this as we're doing this Kick a Bad Habit. So in this first spot here, and I'll see about moving these up. So in the first part, we got what is the habit, and we got the star, which is really interesting. I'm going to read each one as I'm getting, as intuitively as I'm feeling them, and then we'll read them all together as well as we move along. I'm going to try to put this somewhere. Maybe I'll put it right in here. So in the place of what is the habit, to get the star really represents that the dreams, those things that lie within. So this feeling I'm getting without looking ahead too far is that it's not so much about kicking a habit, but maybe the same way but maybe really thinking about starting something. And I think we're going to figure out what we need to clear in the process. I believe really getting this crystal ball is telling. But just like I say, you know, habit starts with these, you know, cues and routines and rewards. I think we're really being drawn to what is our desire? What do we want? What's our dream? What's hidden beneath the surface that needs to come out? So individually, if we're, you know, as you're listening to this and as a collective message, it's asking you to pause and think about what's lying underneath for you. What is something that you know maybe you're struggling with that you need to rid yourself of, clear your path from, but also as a collective telling us that we need to clear that surface underneath so that our true dreams and desires can come up and come alive and be shown. So what I'm hearing is that if we can clear out, so maybe the bad habit here is that stifling, maybe being too in our heads about, you know, second guessing when we want to do something, talking ourselves out of something that we really, really want to try or do because of fear and doubt and judgment and all of these, you know, negative emotions and feelings that are bubbling up underneath the surface. And so what happens is that keeps us stifled and stagnant, and our true dreams and desires don't have a chance to come up and manifest because we're stifling them. So individually, I would say you can pause this, maybe take a few deep breaths, close your eyes, sit with yourself and see if there's something in particular that comes up for you that you're really wanting and desiring and that you are, you know, suppressing in some way. And as a collective, I think that is the habit that we're being asked to clear, is that stifling of our own desires and emotions for fear and doubt. And so using this crystal ball, you know, we're being guided to divination at like this reading, right? You were called to this reading, and that is the crystal ball. And that is what's being shown here to us as the habit that we're trying to kick. Now in this 2 spot, we have, why do I have this habit? And the Page of Pentacles. Page is a younger energy, so I don't think that this is, there's 2 messages I'm getting here, 2 really clear messages I'm getting. This is either the suppression comes from possibly something that occurred as children or in a younger you and a younger self, and that is something happened. Maybe you tried something and you went for it. I think we can all relate to remembering the last time that we were fearless about something and we went for it and it didn't go well. And maybe it didn't just not go well, but it went embarrassingly bad or humiliating, some really bad emotion that could have happened to us in a past time, whether we were younger or it was not that long ago, but just in the past, and that has then stifled us. And alongside that, what happened to develop this habit was that it cost us something. So taking that leap of faith, taking that chance, not just evoke this bad emotion, this bad taste in our mouth from having taken the chance, but it, tangibly cost us something, money, maybe a resource. It could have been a job, or we leapt too, fast. It could have been, stopping our education early. Something happened that affected our actual tangible resources, and it happened in our past. And that is why we have this habit of stifling our true desires, or that fear that keeps us blocked from trying to achieve and take that leap. And that's that bad habit. Now, bad habits, we'll keep going, but I've never done readings for a collective where I'm calling in as many sort of spirit guides as I can, that want to come through, I should say. And so it's interesting over these last, to day 6, how many messages I get. And so I'm still learning to sort of work through that. It's really interesting, I have to say. In the number 3 spot, then, it says, why does it need to go? We have another page, but the page of wands. And the page of wands, wands represent these lower chakras here, our root, our sacral, our solar chakras, that which has us, that which comes, that's cemented in that really grounds us, like our roots, right, as we say, but also that lower it's not even a lower vibration, I shouldn't say it. It's those lower motions are that fire in our center. And so that is our creativity, our desire. And so why does this need to be removed? Is that this is what we're stifling, right? What's lying beneath the surface, right? What the star is, what's right underneath, what's in this water that has it, this habit that is, right lying underneath of our surface. What it is, it has to do with this desire and what we want. And so we lost something along the way. And why this habit needs to go is so that this can come back. So instead of having this really young energy that was misled and felt bad, we need to let that free young self that was fearless to begin with, that took that leap, we need that person, we need that part of ourselves to come back. So that's why this needs to go. In this 4th spot, we have what helps end the habit, and it's the Queen of Pentacles. So Queen of Pentacles, as far as Earth mothers go, she is it. She is stable, grounded to the earth, financially stable. She's also good at maintaining that stability. She's good at being level-headed and not just competent, but competent in making those decisions of maintaining a stable, abundant, resourceful, tangible home. And so what helps end this habit is this center, is this really powerful being within us that is not just grounded, but it's grounded to the earth in that tangible way that we can feel. So if we're, if the star, it's our dreams, it's what we want. And the reason it's like a bad habit here is because we've been stifling that. And so how we help end it is by looking around, seeing what we have in this 3D moment. What can we touch? What do we have? How do we protect that? not in an ego-centered way of wanting to hold on to something, but in a confident way, in a nurturing way that we know what we have is ours. And that's, part of protecting our desires and our creativity and not letting anything stifle that. So that's what's going to help end the habit. I'm going to keep going so we can see what this full message unfolds to. In this 5 spot, we have what happens when it's gone. And we have the 5 of cups in the number 5 spot. What happens when we resolve to move past any shame and doubt and go for our dreams and embrace our creative selves and listen to what's inside of us and trust in our stability and what we have as our jumping off point? What happens when that's gone is that we release this cloak that we're hiding behind, that we're sad and we can't see what we still have. And so we're focusing on spilling these 3 cups. Back here when we took a chance and something didn't go right as we were trying to achieve these dreams and something happened, it was this feeling of shame and embarrassment and being left, look, it's like spilled. I was just, we're back to school this week and I done all this cleaning as I put all of our holiday stuff away. And I told my son, oh my gosh, you have to remove the covers of the cushions on his, this sectional he has in the loft where he watches TV and plays video games. And it was just filthy. It's like a beige color and it was filthy. And he was like, there's nothing on there. And so I turned the light on and I said, oh my gosh, what did you spill on there? Because it had these big spots of it looked like, spilled juice or soda, even water, but they dried on there. So it had these spots. And I saw the look on his face, it was shock. And also I could tell he was embarrassed that in some way I was saying that he was to blame for this in sort of a shameful way. And then I just sort of laughed and I said, come on, I just want to, it's just spilled. The good thing is, and so he hadn't realized that the seat cushions have a zipper and you can pull the stuffing. It's like a big foam thing and you can pull it out. And so as soon as he saw you could do that, he just took it out right away and we tossed it in the wash and yeah, the spots came off. It looks like new. So we had a chuckle about it, but his reaction was really like this. I'm thinking about it with these spilled cups. And part of it was he was so upset about that he was going to get in trouble and oh my gosh, how we were going to clean this, that he hadn't seen that it had this zipper and that you could just remove it and wash it. And that's this, right? This is what happens when it's gone. When we realize it's just spilled and we can clean this up and pick them back up and that we still have 2 standing, it's not the end, right? So this affected us. And like I said, it is a page. So I'm tempted to say that for some of you listening, this could be something that happened when you were younger. I say it all the time. I cannot get myself to do karaoke. I can hardly watch people do karaoke because I start getting anxious for them. And I try to think about, did something happen when I was younger? Did I try to get up and sing and was it terrible? And there isn't. I don't know why I have that, or I've really suppressed. I have no idea. But for some of you, this could have been something that really stayed with you from when you were younger. For others, it could be something more recent, but it was a financial hit, not a huge one, but significant. It felt, in some way. And so what's going to help kick this habit of suppressing our true essence is going to be to realize that it can be cleaned up. These can be picked up. That spill can be, mopped up. And when that is gone, you're back in line. Your chakras, everything becomes aligned so you can tap into this energy. This number 6 spot is what challenges me. We have the Magician. And if you're familiar with tarot, the Magician is like that ultimate card, the beginning of the Fool's journey. It's manifestation. Is what can the Fool, he or she or they have no idea what's about to happen. But the first step is, what are they imagining that could happen? What would they like to see happen? And then they go for it. So what challenges us in this kick a bad habit spread is maybe there's a fear of success for some of you. I'm getting that message. There's a fear of failure. There's a fear of success. There's a lot of fear is what I'm feeling. And it's interesting because I'm getting like, I feel like I'm getting short breath as I'm talking right now. And I do talk fast, and that's not usually something that I struggle with. But I know when I read for myself, that happens when there's a lot of fear or doubt, or when I'm reading for anybody one-on-one, I'll get that feeling where I start to, like, my throat starts to feel like it's closing up. And that's what I'm feeling right now. And so I think the challenge is just, we know too much. We're not fools. We're not that naive, excited, don't know what's going to happen in the next step. We're like, it's 2022 and a lot of stuff has happened that we've experienced that we know we can't forget our past, and we shouldn't, but we should find a way to work with it to the best of our ability so that we can learn from it, not be stifled by it. And this Magician as a challenge card shows us that we are stifled by the idea of just freely thinking of something. And that's a hard habit to kick. I mean, what Spirit is bringing us forward in this collective message about a habit that we should kick, a bad habit that we should kick, is really telling us that we should get back to a playful center where we're fueled by love and our creativity and our passions, not stifled by overthinking why things can go bad, or when they go bad, they will go bad, and how do we deal with that? And that's our challenge, is how can we speak out loud? I don't know how long I'm going to keep saying this, but I feel redundant, and it's only day 6 to say, go back to that vision board. What did you put on there? What were the images? What were the words? What were the intentions that you set that you want to manifest for yourself? And repeat them daily. Write them down, continue to talk them out, because the challenge is that we don't feel comfortable doing that, or we do it in a contained way that feels safer, because anything too loud or too abrupt would give us this feeling of, if it doesn't do it. I know that oh my gosh, who was it? I mean, I just went back. I'm back at work, but my semester doesn't start yet. But I know I have students that are applying to medical school, and they, some students are really confident, and they'll come in and say, oh, I want to apply, can you write a letter of recommendation for me? I want to apply to 10 schools, and then I'll decide which one I go to when they all accept me. And I'll think, wow, I'll sometimes look at all of their transcripts and things, and I wonder, wow, I don't want to over inflate for them their possibilities, but I don't want to stifle this moment of excitement that they believe they'll do this. So, it's a slippery slope. But what's really sad to me is students that have worked so hard, and they're right there, and yet they'll say, well, maybe I'll only apply to one because it's expensive, and I really don't believe that I can get it anyway. And then I'm met with that. What do I say? What do I do? And then and it's a juggling act at all times. Everybody's different. Everybody's personality is different. But I'm reminded of that right now, because the challenge, like this card is implying, is there ever a moment where we shouldn't allow ourselves to dream out loud, to say, I want to have as much money as I can, to do X, Y, to go shopping without feeling that, oh my gosh, that's frivolous and people don't have this, or, I want to buy this really expensive meal, and then you start to feel bad that other people don't have that, or I'm so happy in my relationship, but oh gosh, I don't want to say that because my other friend is single, or like just stifling anything that we have that's tangible in a way that we start to get in our heads about how others will react to it. And this is reminding us that as we want to kick this, and this is an important message I'm receiving, because we don't want to do that to ourselves. When we start comparing apples to oranges, or we start imagining what others are going to say about us or onto us, we're missing the point of just living our present, and living our truth, and living our heart's desire, living from our heart space, trusting our intuition, trusting the spirit of the crystal ball, trusting that innate intuitive sense that we all have, and really going for what it is, our desires, and in using our passions, we're stifling that. Maybe we have had bad experiences. We all have. That's an absolute that I'm comfortable saying, that I know we've all experienced not getting something that we really maybe thought we wanted, but that shouldn't block us from continuing to dream big and being secure and being stable in our desire, in our manifestation. You know, being grateful and thankful for what we do have, for that seat of that's grounded, and being really present in that, so that we can, you know, dream out loud and not be stifled by any of our past, so that we can, you know, reach for our stars here. I feel like I'm getting off on a tangent, but it's really, if you're new to tarot, I say try it, go with it. If you're a tarot reader or someone that uses it in their daily practice, really try these spreads and try them for other people, because the messages that I'm getting, it's a lot to try to get through. And so wow, that was a big one. Let me keep going here. So in our 7th spot is what supports me. 4 of Swords. What supports you is, like I said it over here at the very beginning, and I said, if you need to, pause this video, take a few deep breaths, sit in meditation and see what comes up, because they're obviously, this is a general reading, but if you pause it in the beginning, you took a deep breath, and one particular area for you came up that you really want to work on a habit. It could be you know, I mean, for me, it's, and this isn't in this moment, but in general, why I'm even doing these daily spreads is I really wanted to connect more with a spiritual practice for myself, because I know that it helps me and I do really well, like exercising daily, or, you know, drinking more water and all of those things, sleeping, you know, really well and a certain amount of hours. All of those things help me in general. But I find that when I'm doing a spiritual practice, when I sit and I meditate, because I need to before I get started, that really helps me throughout the rest of the day and into the next day until I do it again. But when I'm running around, I will find reasons that I'm too busy, and then I'll do it one day, I'll do it a few days, and then I don't do it again. So for me, I really jumped in this year and said, I'm going to be really accountable online. So I'll tell my friends and my family, and we'll see who keeps me accountable if I miss a day or what happens. It's only day 6. But I'm excited about it, and I feel that sense of discipline, of responsibility, of accountability that's keeping me really managing my time better, so that I find time for this. But it's also helping me just actually being more calm and just finding my space. And like I said, we're only 6 days in. We'll check back in with that later. But what this is telling you about what is supporting you is you pausing so that you can be void of the noise that surrounds us, void of those memories of the bad experiences, of the time we didn't have something, and take those quiet moments. It does not have to be long. It could be 5 minutes where you're maybe in the car, when you're taking a shower, when you're, you know, about to go to sleep, or when you first wake up before you grab your phone, you know, a few minutes. I mean, it's a 4 of Swords. I would go as far as to say 4 minutes where you really pause and just let the thoughts sink in, and then push away the ones that are not what you need, and really focus on what it is that you're desiring, that you're wanting, and push away these negative thoughts. That's going to support you a lot, is those quiet moments of reflection with yourself. It can, like I said, 4 minutes. I would suggest, I'm getting 4 very clear. I would suggest start with 4 minutes and see where you go from there. But that is going to be a great support. It's taking that moment to just quiet it all out, and, you know, really look into the crystal ball that is innate inside of all of us. Now, what can I keep in mind when struggling? Wheel of Fortune. Perfect. You know, Spirit does not play, and Spirit is very clear. And 6 days in has not minced messages. What can you keep in mind when struggling is that life is this circle. It's this up and down. We're going to have highs and we're going to have lows, just like a Wheel of Fortune. And what's destined to be yours has already been decided. Can we change it? Sure. You can get these messages as a general reading take notes, figure out what you need to do. Like I said, if something came up for you in particular, was it something that you want to work on? You know, it's the beginning of the year. People want to lose weight, exercise more, eat better, sleep better, maybe gain weight, find love, end love, buy something huge, maybe save money to buy something huge. We always have these pretty large and broad areas that we want to, that we want to manifest. And sometimes that's why I think the vision board is good, is you want to chop it all down to, trim it down to smaller bites to step your way towards what you want. And the struggle is, there's a lot of things that are going to be a struggle, right? Whether it's our past experiences, whether it's our current inability to see things around us and only focus on some things. Maybe we're too boisterous with our manifestations that we also don't stop to pause to try to maybe even plan how we get there. And the Wheel of Fortune reminds us to remember that when things seem really tough, it's on the upswing or the downswing. It's just continually moving around. So if it's really bad, it's going to get really good again. It doesn't mean that it has to always be really bad. You find a way to get through those moments. But the reality is that there's a little bit of everything every single day and all of the things that we're doing. And that's okay. And in many ways, I would say we want that. You want to be able to discern. If it was always great and everything came super easy, we might start taking things for granted. So then sometimes having a little spilled milk in front of us that might blind us from seeing this, even for a second, is a good humbling experience to get us right back. So this Wheel of Fortune, keep that in mind when something seems a little unsettling, or it seems like the struggle is a little too hard, is that that too shall pass. It may last a little bit longer. Sometimes the upswing is really great. We hope that those moments of struggle are shorter, but it's all in a continual movement. It's all fluid, ever-changing, always moving. It is also a number 10 card, so it's usually a number of completion. So for every, as you're kicking a bad habit here, maybe there's a good habit you're also looping in, the habit loop. Maybe you're adjusting your routine to make, sort of healthier choices for yourself, better choices for yourself. And so it could be, completing one cycle and starting up another one. And in the final card, we have what is the result. And I don't know if you can see this very well, but I'll see if I can get it up here. It is the Sun card. There is no happier, brighter card in the tarot, in the traditional tarot deck, and that is the Sun. So what is the ultimate result? Is you will, going back to the star, which is our dreams and our hopes, you will achieve that if you can, right? I say we because like I said, this is a collective, and I feel very much embraced by the collective right now and the messages that I'm receiving. So I think having the star and the Sun as the habit and the result, we will have success in achieving all of our desires, all of our manifestations. We need to stay grounded. I think this is the theme for this year. It is a very harmonious, balanced year in general. I don't do like a lot of astrology. I read my own charts and I do a little bit of that, but it's not my area of expertise. But I will say that this year is a 6 vibrational year, which is about balance and harmony. And a lot of that is maintaining that gratitude, that grounded, that knowing that our roots are planted and they are supple and thriving and alive. And we have our desires and our passion, our creativity can lead. We can lead from a heart, a heart space, but a very rooted space of who we are. And so we know what lies within us. We know what our desires and our dreams, our wildest dreams, we know what they are, but we have some blockages. So we need to maybe work on some inner child stuff that we are still holding on to. It could be, like I said, really from our childhood or more recent, we lost something, it was tangible. We know that by ending this habit, we need to be able to see beyond our immediate, but we need to, I would keep looking at this crystal ball. And if we can do that and remind ourselves who we are, and from that, you know, earth space of being grounded, of, you know, Mother Earth, of Gaia, being right rooted in there, then I think what we're being told is that and then we need to not be afraid. We need to just speak our desires. We can journal them to ourselves, but at least we're writing them out so that they exist. We've given them life. Again, we're planted really sturdy here, so we can, even just writing them out will help us. You know, taking those moments to meditate, reminding ourselves that, you know, what comes up must go, you know, up and down it goes. The wheel will give us some challenges, but it will also, you know, reward us. So if we can do that, if we can work on that as we kick this bad habit of suppressing our desires and our, you know, what we wish and desire, our dreams, if we can do this and remember all this, our results are the sun. Sorry, see, star, sun. It's the sun. We can have it all. And I think with that, I will end it there. I'm not feeling I'm not feeling called to pull more. I really love this card, this, you know, fortune predictions and divination using that crystal ball. So for whatever reason you were called to listen to this reading today on January 6th, this Kick a Bad Habit spread is definitely also telling you to continue to reach to tarot, to divination, to many forms, to the crystal ball, to help you to sort of aid you along the ride this year. So with that, I will end it, and I will see you all again tomorrow.